So, starting out just for a sound check,
Okay.
give me your full name.
Nikki Louise Thomas.
And what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Vanilla.
Just vanilla?
Just vanilla.
Just vanilla does a trick for you. Do you add anything to it?
Sometimes
What do you add?
chocolate.
Okay. So you throw a little chocolate in there. Okay. And tell me what tribal nation or nations you are a citizen of.
Well, I always go with O-Gah-Pah and Osage and Arapaho.
Excellent. Tell me just a little bit about your Quapaw ancestry, and you can go a generation back or as many as you want.
Okay.
But give me some of your lineage when it comes to Quapaw.
Oh, geez, there's a few chiefs. I can't remember their names.
That's okay.
But if I, but the ones that I grew up with started with the Supernaws. My grandmother was, well, there was Maud Supernaw, and then she had my grandmother was Mary Thompson Williams, and they lived up here, at that time. And then they finally moved up into down to Tulsa, and then they started living over towards Skytook.
Excellent.
But our allotment is just across the street.
Tell me just a little bit when you think about earliest memories or just memories in general of being little, being around family. Does anything stick out to you? It could be powwow related. It could be just.
Oh yeah, that's all we did. My father had a drum, and people would come to the house and they'd sing these songs and stuff and practice, and just to not only practice but just to be doing that. So they would do that, frequently.
And were you little when that was happening?
Yes.
What was that like?
Oh, it was go to the bedroom. They did because they were recording.
I see.
So
I
yeah,
see. It
yeah.
wasn't again.
Yeah.
They were doing something.
Yeah, but I could hear, but still.
So yeah, do you remember lying in bed and hearing the music?
Yeah, and playing with my dolls, and stuff like that because I had to be quiet.
Tell me, from a young age, what did that music mean to you when you could hear the music, when you could, as a child, you could hear your father, everything like that. What did it mean to you?
Oh, well, it was just, he was Arapaho, and my mother was Quapaw and Osage, so, he had more songs than she would because women don't do that, so I heard a lot of powwow songs and not only powwow songs, but some, things that we use for our ceremonies and stuff that are sacred, so.
I see. Let's talk a little bit about the powwow. Is there early memories? Do you remember going there as a little girl? Do you remember the Quapaw powwow specifically as a little girl?
Yeah, I remember because they always had to make me dance in a buckskin dress, and it was really hot, and they had to tie my hair so tight that it just pulled my eyes back. So, yeah, I remember that.
Do you have fond memories of the powwows when you were little?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of things?
Oh, I like cotton candy and popcorn and dancing and, just always had to do that.
Do you remember some of the lessons you had to be taught, learning the respect around the powwow and whether it be, either dancing or even the campfire? Were there certain things that you remember, oh, this is special, this is sacred, this is important?
Well, being young at that time, it was different. You just kind of don't know a whole lot of stuff, and they just put you out there, and I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Well, I was with my sisters and my parents, so that's all we did was and we went to different places too, all over.
Traveling to different
powwows?
powwows?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
What kind of thing? How far did you travel?
Oh, we went to, we had connections with the Tulsa powwow because my aunts and uncles were in that stuff, and then we would go everywhere. We'd go to Mohawk powwow, we'd go to Lakeview, and then those were the only two in the beginning, that had outdoor things in Tulsa area. And then, then we'd go traveling. Whenever there was another powwow, we'd go somewhere else. Ponca City, Red Rock, just different places.
When you were traveling like that, I mean, even let's bring it back to the O-Gah-Pah powwow.
Mm-hmm.
But when you show up at those, is it like a reunion? Are you seeing a lot of familiar faces and everything like that?
Oh, here or there?
Well, let's start with here.
I like here better, because that's where I'm from, but we do visit sometimes to other places.
And what do you think, being somebody that's been to so many powwows, what is it about the O-Gah-Pah powwow that's special to you?
Because I'm O-Gah-Pah.
Sure. No, expand on that. That's exactly what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Just being O-Gah-Pah, is this one more special to you?
Yes, it is, because that's the maternal side. The paternal would be Arapaho, so, and then I've got my Osage part too, which I usually use those two because the Arapahos are way down there.
Tell me a little bit about things that have been passed down to you. And I'm just going to list some things here just to kind of jog your memory a little bit. But anything from pottery to silversmithing to craftsmanship to growing, harvesting, preserving, or cooking foods. Is there anything, any tradition that's been passed down to you or have you passed down to somebody else?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Can you think of anything, Victoria? Oh yeah, I do. I do a lot of sewing. With dresses, and we have buckskin dresses, and we do a lot of beading. I don't very much anymore, but that's what we do. We make and try to when there's a funeral or something like that, we always try to attend and to take care of our people too.
Who do you remember who put your arms over the top of it? If that's okay, sorry.
Well, I was trying to get some exercise.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Do you remember who taught you or who sat you down and showed you some of those things?
Oh, my parents did. The whole, my grandparents started the Tulsa powwow, and then everybody, around in the community, and some of them had some powwows, that they had out at Lakeview, and then they had some at Mohawk, and yeah, we went to a lot of places.
Yeah. Tell me about when it comes to sewing, and did you say beading as well? Was another part that was, just kind of paint me a picture of where that took place. Was this around a kitchen table, or was this something?
Oh yeah.
How did you get taught that?
Well, I just looked at it and tried to see how it worked, and then I figured it out. So I just did it.
I see. Tell me a little bit about. Let's go back to the powwow.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the soundbite you gave me before, but I'm going to ask it again. When you think about the components of the powwow, and you think about the drum specifically, what does the drum mean to you? Mean to O-Gah-Pah? What does the drum mean?
It's my heart. That's what it is.
How does it make you feel when you?
Makes me feel good.
Yeah. How many did you learn some of the dances growing up or older in life?
Oh yeah.
Tell me some of the dances you know.
We had the rabbit dance, and little kids go out there, and they don't do that anymore. And then let's see, what else did we have? I think that was the only one that I could remember that the kids used to do. They don't do it anymore.
What was significant about the rabbit dance?
It was the kids would put their hands up here like this, and they'd go out there and jump around.
So it wasn't too uniform. It was just get out there and jump around.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When you got older, did you learn some more dances?
Oh yeah. My parents had me dancing every day.
Did you have a favorite dance?
And my brother, no, I mean, women don't have a special dance.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but the men do. But I did have to dance in boys' clothes, too.
What is that?
I don't know. My parents just did that. They put me in boys' clothes, you know. I guess, I don't know.
That's fine, that's fine. What was your favorite thing about the powwow?
Oh, I started to say cotton candy, but it wasn't. I liked it because of the music and the songs that they sang, and you know, and they're usually always the same, but they also grow as they, you know, as we grow, you know, and they'll have different songs and things, but they have, you know, some issues that are really nice to hear, you know, and because you'll get that song, you'll get one that you like, and then it just stays with you, you know, and it's just beautiful.
Are there certain messages that you hear in the songs that really?
It's just, I don't know the names of them, you know, the words for them. Some of them I do, but you know, some of them I don't know. But there's this, but some of them are just all have always been that way.
Last thing I want to talk about is just a little bit about the history of O-Gah-Pah and also about the future of O-Gah-Pah. Where you'd like to see it headed, advice you have for the future, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically talking about the history, and you can lead this conversation wherever you'd like it to go, but we're just wanting to hear more about where the tribe comes from and some of the obstacles and oppression and suppression. But you're okay if you don't want to talk about it.
You got that. I mean, I hope that most Quapaws know that. You know, the struggles that we had, you know, coming here and going there, and then you had one band down here, you had another one over there, you had one way over there, you know, and there was about 3 of them, I think, and, you know, they were all in different places. Some, I think, well, Louisiana maybe, and some here, of course, and I forgot where the other one was.
Georgia, perhaps?
I think it was more around Louisiana,
Okay.
if I'm not, it could be Georgia.
Okay,
I don't remember.
That's fine. When you think about the, you know, the oppression when it comes to the Catholic boarding schools and what happened there, if you were to tell that to someone,
I am a Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, we don't get to make that choice. Our parents do that. You know, so my dad was a full-blood Arapaho. He could speak fluently. My mother was Quapaw and Osage. She had an extensive financial growing up, you know, and he was, you know, just a regular old full-blood over here, you know. So I got most of my my stuff from my father, and some from my mother too, you know. So because my grandmother was Grandma Supernaw, and that was my great-grandmother, and then my grandmother was Mary Thompson Williams, and she passed young. So Grandma Supernaw had all of the stuff, all the, you know, things that we needed to know, and her children, you know, and grandchildren, we all kind of know a little bit about it. But she had special things that she did that a lot of people don't know.
Do you want to talk about those at all?
Well, I know that there was something that she had that was a I think it was a rock. I don't remember if that's what it was or what, but she always kept that, you know, and she had an extensive, she was hard to hear her because she had her language, you know, and sometimes I couldn't understand what she was talking because she was talking in Indian, you know, and I'm just a little kid, you know, I'm about like 4 years old maybe. So, you know, but it was interesting. I mean, she did quite well.
Were you taught the language at all at a young age or in your teenage years at all?
No,
Do you know why that was the case?
I don't know. Well, yeah, well, I didn't have any O-Gah-Pah language at the time. My father was, like I said, a full-blood Arapaho, and I got some of that. It's all gone now, but but yeah, I knew some words and stuff.
Are you able to talk at all about, or do you want to talk at all about the experience of the Catholic schools when it comes to the tribe or what you experienced or anything like that?
No, because that was the Catholic 40 up here. That was a long time ago, and I had nothing, didn't even know about it until I was an adult.
I see.
You
I
know,
see.
so, but I did have to go as a Catholic, but I'm not practicing now.
I see. I see. Tell me a little bit about the future of the tribe. Are you optimistic about where the tribe's headed now?
Oh, yes,
Why is that?
because I think it's something that's important for our people to keep going on and flourishing and doing the things that we need to do and to retain ourselves as, a tribe.
Mhm. How important would you say language? Language seems to be something that there's starting to be new classes and they're trying to teach it to young. How important do you think it is for the O-Gah-Pah to reestablish language?
I think that they should work at it. I have grandchildren, but they're not interested. And one of them is, and I don't know about her. She's got some good language too, probably more than me.
Is there anything that you would like to talk about when it comes to O-Gah-Pah or your lineage, or the Supernon name or anything like that?
Well, our allotment is right across the street, and we have graves over there from the people that we have had before, and that would have been Tall Chief and what's the other one? There was one before him, I forgot, but they're all over there, and they're all buried over there.
Do you have any stories from them or anything that was passed down to you? Any stories or even stories about anyone in the Supernon name that you can talk about?
Not really. The most things that they spoke about was, about one time they stayed over, our camp was over that way, and they stayed over there. I wasn't there that day, but they said that there was at the top of the hill, there came this big red orb, and it went down the powwow grounds, and it come all the way up to our camp, and it stood there. It was just a red sun. I wasn't there that day. I was there the day before.
What did some people say that it was?
Oh, well, I don't know what they said. They just told me what happened, and I was like, wow, because I was kind of young.
Yeah. Have you heard many stories like that?
No, that's the only one I've heard. But I don't know if anybody else has ever said or had that happen here.
I've heard that story told a few times.
Okay,
I think it's
good.
the exact same story you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
But yeah, there seems to be many occasions like that, or not many.
Oh, yeah.
Very few, but there's oftentimes people can recount stories like that.
But I did see somebody that was up here at the top of the hill one time. It was a very long time ago, and he had one of those kind of hats, and but it was just walking away.
And was it mysterious to you?
I was concerned. Yeah. I mean, who's going to be wearing a hat like that in this day and age, at that time?
Excellent. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about? Anything else? The microphone is yours right now.
Well, I really like dancing, but they have so many contests anymore that sometimes I feel like that's not really appropriate. And that's why I like Quapaw night, is because it's just for us, you know, so,
Is it, would you say it's more special on Quapaw night?
yeah, yeah. Not that I'm trying to exclude other tribes, you know, but
But
But-
especially with how much of a family feel
yes, yes it is. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Sure. Any other topics you can think of?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about Tall Chief, who was Maud's father.
Yeah, yeah,
I kind of forgot him. I mean, you mentioned him, but,
yeah,
um,
yeah. And then his,
and then,
his-
we actually are not Supernaws.
no, we're not.
Grandma Maud married a Thompson first, and that's where we came from. And then
Mhm.
she married a Supernaw, and then that's where the Supernaws came from.
Yeah.
If there's, unless there's anything else, yeah, that's the interview.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you so
Sounds
much
good.
for your
All
time.
right.
Watch your head when you get up.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Don't bump your head on that.